Hello, thank you for stopping to watch Save U.S. Taxes Legally. I want to teach as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchise owners, U.S. professionals, U.S. trades, and also anyone who's a self-employed how to stop paying U.S. taxes. We're going to start off with three very simple questions. You're either going to put yes or no into the chat. So let's get started. Number one, do you want to stop paying taxes year after year, generation after generation, and leave a legacy? If that's yes, put it in the chat. If it's no, put no into the chat. Question number two, do you want all lawsuits to go away and become frivolous? Put yes in the chat, put no in the chat. Think about how much time, money, anxiety, worry just disappears. Question number three, what if nobody knows what you own, where you own it, or how much you own? If you want that, put yes in the chat or put no in the chat. The Spendthrift Trust comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England. Whoops, sorry, stop sharing. I did the wrong thing. I'm doing the wrong thing. There it goes. Sorry, he went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went back to the 12th century, the Magna Carta that was put in place because of King John I. The Spendthrift Trust saves federal and state, I should have state in there, taxes, keeps information completely private, and I can't stop you from being sued, but all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Now, most people, death and taxes are a taboo subject, and most people have no idea that there are four ways to file your taxes. Most expensive way is single. Then it's head of household. You're divorced with children age 18 or younger in your household. Then there's married filing separately. And the cheapest way to file is married filing jointly. Now, I want you to pay attention. If get nothing else from this, check out what they did quietly on January 1st of 2025. They took married filing separately and matched it to single filers all the way up to 35% tax bracket. If you're married, please file jointly. Looking at 24% tax bracket, instead of paying $105,701, married filing jointly gets to save at 24%, $211,411. So double the amount. So do yourself a favor. If you're married, please file married jointly. Now, the Spendthrift Trust is an IRS Tax Code 643B. If your financial advisor or your CPA says, ooh, the IRS wrote a memo about not liking Tax Code 643B, they did on August 9th of 2023. They said they did not like Tax Code 643B. They did not like the Irrevocable, Complex, Discretionary, Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust. Sounds like I'm doing a Dr. Seuss book. That's okay. It's their opinion. It's a memo. The IRS cannot change the tax code. Only Congress can. I don't have a crystal ball, but too many presidents, too many senators, too many congresspeople, and the people in the super PACs know the secret of the rich. My goal is to teach this to as many people as possible because it is legal. So the 5 elements that you need: irrevocable. This means it goes from generation to generation to generation. The Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust is called the Office. It's 7 generations old and has over 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number. Each separate family files a separate 1041 tax return. You're not filing a 1040 tax return. Complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that is going to turn 365 years old this year, 2026. Now, 95% of the trusts sold every year are what my mom and dad had, what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television, the family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust. It is set up by the settlers were my mom and dad, and when they both passed away, that EIN number went away and there was no tax savings. This is not your mom and dad's trust. This is what the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys, and our own president's father started back in 1972. Discretionary. Whoever's a trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries. There's no infighting, there's no contesting the will or anything else from when they're alive and then also when they pass away. One of my clients, a husband and wife with 4 apartment buildings in Los Angeles, they're allowing their adult daughter to live there rent-free, but she has a problem. So they're requiring her to do 4 random drug tests per month to live there rent-free. If she fails one of them, they kick her out. She actually took her mom and dad to federal court to sue them. The judge read over the beneficial trust because it's renter's insurance. And he said to her, she has 2 choices. Choice A, pass the drug test, live rent-free. Choice B, move out, start paying your own rent. I do not want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner. Non-Grantor. This makes the trust completely private. When you start either the business or the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, you are going to have someone who will never be a beneficiary and never be a trustee be your grantor or settler for the trust. It's not a speed bump, but you do need their social security number. If you want me to do this for you, I've done it for several of my clients. I sign up to be the grantor, and then I sign myself away, and I'm no longer the grantor. So when someone tries to research this, they can't find out who or what has the property. And finally, the spendthrift. This is in the IRS Tax Code 643B. I have 2 pages of case law that you can research this to your heart's content. If you want the case law, please put your information, your email, into the chat and I'll make sure you get it. You need all 5 elements to make this trust work. Now, the law firm I work on behalf of was started 78 years ago by a Harvard law professor. Paul Benson wrote 5 specific trusts to save specific taxes. Today I'm going to talk about 2 of them. The business trust is going to save federal and state income taxes. The beneficial trust is for all investors to stop paying taxes on profits. The other 3 trusts, there's a mineral rights trust. I only sold one. One of my clients who has a beneficial trust inherited his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma, and on the horse farm there's 6 functioning oil wells. Oil wells, shale, coal rights, things like that. There's a charitable trust if you want to be a 501c3 company. And finally, there's a senior trust where the senior is over 65 and has a problem. Maybe they have dementia, they had a stroke. It's a blind trust for the senior. Now the business trust. This is for anyone who makes 1099 income. I don't care if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, a franchisee owner, professional, maybe you're in the trades or you're self-employed. I can't help W-2 income earners because their taxes are taken out before they get their paycheck. But Google says 35% of W-2 income earners have a side hustle. That was me. Back in 2019, I was working as a Medicare and I was wholesaling properties. So if you have a 1099 income side hustle and making $100,000 a year or more in 1099 income, I guarantee you will save 5 figures in taxes year after year, generation after generation. I got this gentleman from a BNI meeting. He's an accident attorney. He's married. He makes $275,000 a year. That's the number he gave me. For 2026, the full year, he would save $62,168. That breaks down to federal income taxes at 24% tax bracket at $51,196. North Carolina state income taxes at $10,972. Now, he started this trust back in May of 2026. So in June, he got to save $5,180. In July, he gets to save $5,180. In August, he gets to save $5,180. Again in September, October, November, and December. With this savings of $5,180, he can put it back into his law office. He can pay off his mortgage. He can buy a new vehicle. He can take his family on a well-deserved vacation. He has 2 children. One's in high school, one's in junior high. He can start college funds for them. He can give to his favorite charity, or he can save for retirement. Again, he'll continue saving taxes and leave a legacy. It's an amazing thing. Now, my personal story. My watershed month was October 2018. 3 major things happened for me. Number 1, I'm working as a Medicare broker in Phoenix, Arizona, and my oldest nephew's getting married October 27th, 2018 in Charlotte, North Carolina. I had the time saved up and I requested the Friday before the wedding and the Monday after the wedding off because I had friends and family coming in from all over the world. They denied me. I didn't like my job very much before, and I liked it even less now. Second thing that happened, I bought a brand new 2017 end of the year model Hyundai Velastra with a moonroof. I was driving on Indian School Road to get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm the second car going through on a green light. Some idiot runs the red light. He's high, he's drunk, and has no insurance. My car was 3 weeks old. Silly Sally had gap insurance sitting on her kitchen table and had not filled it out yet. I had to get a second car. I had 2 car payments, 1 vehicle. The third thing that happened, my mom and dad, who lived in Goodyear, Arizona, drove from Goodyear to Charlotte for the wedding. They were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. My dad calls me Thursday before the wedding, says, do not change your flight. Your mom's in the emergency room. We do not know what's wrong. Still fly in at 7:20 on the day of the wedding. It ended up she had septic in the blood. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. My dad stayed with my brother to visit her every day in the hospital. I became a real estate investor first week of December when there was a letter that was 27 pages thick. So my mom's Medicare statement for the emergency room and 1 month on the ventilator costing $72,000. I was not worried. My dad was a retired military officer. They had TRICARE for life. I'm standing in their kitchen. I have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. I have a mortgage. I have student loans because I went to graduate school, 2 vehicles, 1 car, and I don't like my job. Right then and there, I called my friend Glenn, who had invited me to a real estate meeting back in August of 2018. And I said to Glenn, I need to change my life. He says, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Get a $5 gift, bring some food, and meet my fellow real estate investors. Okay, I know Glenn and Rhonda, that's no problem, but they're going to a Christmas pageant and won't be there till 9:30. So I go to the Christmas party. I go, it's on Camelback Road in one of those high-rise condo buildings. I walk up, there's a gentleman who's ringing the doorbell. He introduces himself, and I find out he's my 3rd cousin. His great-grandmother was my grandmother's sister. I knew about Michael, or I knew about his family, but I did not know he was living in Phoenix. I joined the real estate group, and in 2019, with my mentor, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties. In July of 2020, I bought this property for $20,000. It's going to go to auction for $50,000. And when it finally did go to auction 13 months later, the final bid was $64,362. Without lifting a hammer, I got to make $44,326. The way I like to do real estate. At 24% tax bracket, I got to save $10,368 I never will have to pay back, and I put into more real estate. Now, the beneficial trust saves you 5 taxes. You no longer pay either short-term or long-term capital gains. You no longer pay interest income taxes. You no longer pay dividend income taxes. You no longer pay rental income taxes. You no longer pay royalty income taxes. Short-term capital gains are just like federal income taxes, between 10% all the way up to 37%. And if you make $50,000, this is how much you'll be saving. If you make $100,000, this is how much you'll be saving. Short-term capital gains affect you when you wholesale, fix and flip, do auction houses, tax liens, you're selling crypto, you're doing options trading, or you're a Forex investor. Long-term capital gains, I'll get to in just a second. That's a year or more, and it's either 15 or 20%. Interest income taxes. Same thing as short-term capital gains between 10% to 37%. Can affect you if you're a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I have notes from the paper in the house. People pay me their mortgage, creative financing, seller financing, or Forex investors. Yes, Forex investors, you get double tax. You need the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. You'll stop paying dividend income taxes, again, between 10% to 37%. If you're investing in the stock market, you're a futures trader, you're a day trader, you're a commodities trader, or you're living off of dividends. You'll stop paying rental income taxes, again, between 10% to 37%. Yes, you can move a property with a depreciation schedule into the trust. Yes, you can move a property with cost averaging into the trust. So if you have short-term rentals like Airbnb or vacation rentals, maybe you have 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily real estate. Maybe you're in apartment real estate. Maybe you're in commercial real estate, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. You'll stop paying those taxes. The one that's not on here is rental income taxes. They're taxed between 10% to 35%, 7 different layers. But if you have talent, maybe you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist, NFTs, copyrights, patents, intellectual property, or patents. I'm not trying to grow, but in 2025 taxes, I have a crypto bot, so I wasn't paying capital gains. I wholesale 4 properties, I wasn't paying capital gains. I have 12 notes, that's interest income taxes. I had 5 seller properties, that was also interest income taxes. I have 5 rentals, which is rental income taxes. And because the trust is copyrighted, I didn't have to pay royalty income taxes on any of the trusts I sold in 2025. Amazing, amazing document. Now, this is a wholesale deal. I got the tax lien for $7,000. As I was trained, called real estate agents. This is very, very rural Vermont. I called a real estate agent. She knew exactly what property we were talking about. And she goes, I love their kitchen. It's a 1950s kitchen. She goes, I'll pay you $100,000 for the deal. Didn't tell her how much it was. I did a double closing. So I made $93,000 in profit. Woo-hoo. This is the way I like to do real estate investing. My capital gains at 24% tax bracket, I got to save $22,320. We go back up here to this one. I got to save $10,368. And then on this deal, it pays for the trust completely. Now, when you sell your business, it's going to be either 15 or 20% of your total. This is a client who was selling their online business for $2 million. At 15%, he got to save $300,000. At 20%, he got to save $400,000. Now, the company or the people who are buying his online business were going to pay him $3,000 to be a consultant for a full year. So 3 times 12 is $36,000. He's like, since I'm saving so much money, I'll buy the business trust too. Fantastic information. Now, IRMA. This is when you're 65 and on Medicare. One of my clients, husband and wife, the husband did very good in the stock market. I got to save them $72,000 a year in dividend income taxes. He was 70, she was 68. I asked, I know you're on Medicare. How much are you paying for your Medicare supplements? He's Medicare Advantage things, and he said he was not aware of that. The wife says we're paying over $800. Every October, the IRS goes back 2 years. So October 2026, they're going to check 1040 tax returns, and their supercomputers are going to add everything together. How much you're making from Social Security, how much you're making from pensions. Are you making any money working? Did you do a 401k withdrawal? Did you do a SEP withdrawal? Do you have capital gains taxes, interest income taxes, dividend income taxes, rental income taxes, or royalty income taxes? Now, this chart is for 2025, but I do know the numbers for 2026. It's going to be $109,000 if you're single, or $218,000 if you're married. I don't know how much Medicare is going to be this year, but it was $185 last year. And the couple I was talking to got to save $622.80 a piece, or let's just call it $1,300 extra per month. That's IRMA surcharges. Because you file a 1041 tax return, you won't have to pay them anymore. If you want to set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, please use www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. I have a free class on the Great Discovery. Go out to www.thegreatdiscovery or just use sallygimmon.com. Register as a free learner. It's called Save U.S. Taxes. You're going to get a presentation like this, 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write, 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content, and examples of clients saving thousands and thousands of dollars. My goal is to teach as many U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchisee owners, U.S. professionals, U.S. tradespeople, and U.S. self-employed, and all U.S. investors how they can stop taxes. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. The law firm I work on behalf of was founded 78 years ago by by, I just forgot it, Paul, I just forgot his name. Boy, that's bad. 78 years ago, and not a single trust has ever been audited. Now, his grandson and great grandson run the law firm, and when you become a private client, they will give you a certification saying if you get questioned by the IRS, they will defend you free of charge. Set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care.